Our next session, Owning Her Future, is on empowering adolescent girls. My name is Devashri. I represent an organization called Women Changemakers. It's a global fellowship for social entrepreneurs who are working on women's issues and are ready to scale. We have here with us three very esteemed panelists who will bring in their experiences from different sectors. I'll begin with Safina, Shabnam, and Lynn. They'll give a brief introduction of themselves and also give a little bit of their background on how they became involved in the issue of empowerment of girls. Start.
You keep yours?
Yeah, I'll keep mine.
Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. I'm Safina Hussain, and I run an NGO called Educate Girls, which we work for girls' education. There are 26 gender gap districts in India. 9 of them are in Rajasthan. And so that's why we decided to go. We said, let's go first to the most critical areas. So we started about 5 years ago in 50 schools. And today we're in 4,500 schools with about 600,000 children and 250,000 girls that we're working with. And one of the big reasons that we've scaled up so rapidly is because we were supported by Dasra and were one of the first giving circles. So this is a really special place for us and for me to be today. So we actually work on enrollment for the girl child, attendance, learning outcomes, and really equipping them with life skills and building girl leaders for the future. In essence, what we're doing is we're really building champions for girls' education, and we call them Team Balika. We started with about 140 last year. We're at 620 this year, and hopefully we'll have over 1,000 champions called Team Balika by the end of this year. We've seen a lot of impact. We've enrolled about over 20,000 girls back into the school system just since last year alone. We've seen 10 to 15% increase in attendance, 3 times greater learning outcomes, and have now built a cohort of around 8,500 Bal Sabhas, who are our next generation of girl leaders. And about me a little bit, I grew up in Delhi and then went to LSE and worked in San Francisco for about 10 years. I ran grassroots projects in Ecuador, Mexico, Bolivia, South Africa, and then came back in 2004 to really work around girls' education. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Shabnam Sinha from the World Bank. And one thing for Dasra, I wish this group was more representative because it's extremely loaded by women. And one of the reasons why, philanthropy or strategic philanthropy is not optimally utilized for girls' education is because it's a domain which one feels is a woman's domain. It's not. And I think it would be good if we had some men representative, but we would like to have a discussion which we can open up to have more inputs from the men present over here. While we will be talking about the adolescent girls and the issues related to that, briefly I'll tell you quickly about what we do at the World Bank. Since it's a multilateral banking organization, we fund the government of India for its large programs. So we work with the Ministry of Human Resource Development for funding their Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, which is universalization of elementary education program. We've funded them by about $2 billion till now, and we will further be adding some funds to that. We are also going to be funding the secondary education program, which is very critical for the adolescent girls, which is the Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan, which is initially we are starting with $500 million, and then we will take it up. So when we were, before the bank actually goes into funding of a program of a government, there is a preparation phase where we do our own analysis. What's the readiness of the government to take these funding, and what is the social and environmental readiness to be able to take this forward. At that time, we got some preparatory studies and researches done which had some very interesting implications. But the third important critical component, which we are now working with the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and the Department of Public Enterprises, is on the whole area of corporate social responsibility, which is why I thought today's conference is very critical for me to be able to get a sense of what strategic philanthropy is being, how it's being looked at. Because we were, I mean, let me share with you, the World Bank is coming out with a document on corporate social responsibility. And we felt that, you know, if you look at a pyramid of CSR, then we looked at philanthropy as perhaps lower down in the CSR, the merit component, and the other component which we looked at was sustainability, which is economic, social, and environmental sustainability. And we thought what was the most evolved kind of CSR was strategic CSR, which is where it meshes with your corporate strategy. But when we shared our document with stakeholders, with CII, ASSOCHAM, with the public sector, with NGOs and a whole lot of other stakeholders, there was a huge amount of pushback and people felt that philanthropy is very much core to CSR and very important part of corporate social responsibility. So I would like to congratulate Dasra for bringing this philanthropic, strategic philanthropy on the forefront. And I'm getting more and more my thinking process has changed a bit since morning. And I feel that we want to sort of take this discourse forward. And I'd like to involve Dasra in our future interventions at the bank, because we will be supporting the government of India on its CSR agenda. With the Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs is setting up a foundation for CSR, which we are supporting. And the Department of Public Enterprises has also asked for our support. Coming back to the area of girls' education, at the primary level or at the elementary level, classes 1 to 8, the area looks very hopeful in the sense that enrollments are, if you look at the gross enrollment ratio, it's about 116%, and enrollments have gone up very fantastically. It's about 98% of children, including girls, are in school. And the participation of girls in school is about 48%, and their participation in population is 46%. So we've exceeded that at the elementary level. But however, as we move towards the secondary level, that's where the problems start happening. And as I told you, when we did our preparatory study for our secondary mission, we found that one of the key social inequities was the issue of girls' education and girls' empowerment. There was, for every 100 boys who go to secondary education, there are only 71 girls who go. There is a huge amount of disparity, and also the participation of girls is 47 or 46% as per boys, which is 56%. So there is a huge 10 percentage point of gap. Now this is where I think our strategic philanthropy could play a very significant role. We will talk about it as we move forward.
Hello everybody, I'm thrilled to be here in India, a country that I fell in love with on my first visit in 1990, when I had the opportunity to come and work with a group of women, teaching them assertiveness and influencing skills. The women that I was working with were successful Indian business women, and what I realized was that everybody needs some helping hand to be able to improve their sense of power and choice over their own lives. I'm also thrilled to be here talking about empowering adolescent girls, and that's not a topic that I'm an expert on. Together with Andrea and Peter, who are in the audience, I run a family charitable trust called the Kiowa Trust, and our focus is to help support organizations who are working in the field of adolescent girl empowerment. And it's been a fairly long journey to get to the point of choosing this as our topic. And we're not at our destination yet. In fact, we're probably not even halfway through yet. We started as sort of charity by check givers prior to 2004, giving to random causes that we were touched by. In 2004, we set up our family charitable trust. And between 2004 and 2009, we were grant makers. We chose a number of organizations all around young people, vulnerable and disadvantaged young people in Africa and India. And we supported some very, very good organizations to do some great work. In 2009, what we realized was that we were spread thin as margarine and over far too big a geography and over far too many topics. And so what we decided was that we needed to home in on one issue, one audience, and one area geographically. And what that would give us was a much, much greater understanding of the difference that our money that we were putting into the philanthropy could make. We'd have a much better sense of fulfillment from what we were doing and get a lot more fun from it. We'd be knowledgeable, we'd feel committed and engaged on that one topic, and our ability to influence others to come in and join us on that journey hopefully would increase. So that's why I'm thrilled to be here. It's been 2 years of learning and research, working with people like Dasra, who've been amazingly helpful. There've been periods when we've really faltered and wondered what we were doing and are we on the right track and where are we going? And always there's been somebody there to help us move us along to the next stage of thinking. And there've been periods of huge acceleration where we felt, yay, we're on the right track, this is right. We funded 2 pieces of research which were very critical to our journey. One was looking at where is the need greatest for adolescent girls? And we came to the conclusion from that there are 3 states in India where girl empowerment is very poor. And the second piece of research is the book that's been published by Dasra, Owning Her Future. And what that's done is given us a huge amount of confidence in which of the topics of empowering girls that really make a difference, where we can really have an impact, and how do we go about funding that. So we're very much on a roll about that at the moment.
Thank you. Thank you. Referring to the report that Lynn is talking about, there is a statistic there which says that 11% of the girls aged between 10 to 19 are an invisible segment. So coming back to the very basic question of why is it critical? Why do you think it's critical to empower adolescent girls to change the future of India? All your views.
You're asking me, I'm committed. I really feel that investing in girls and adolescent girls is truly the best investment you can make. I mean, there's absolutely no question about it. Obviously, people will disagree because we're talking about livelihoods and other stuff here. But really, if you want to impact poverty or if you want to increase GDP, adolescent girls. You want to impact health issues, you want to reduce child mortality, infant mortality, you want to up immunization, everything boils down to investing in adolescent girls. It's really the magic solution, it's the potion. So for India, critical in terms of India, you want to increase GDP, economic growth, adolescent girls is a really, really key factor. And the other piece, it's which is not about economics, but it's about how civilized we are as a country, how we see ourselves. India 20 years down the line really depends on this. It depends on how we respect our women and how we value our girl child. Because that's something that we really are lagging behind on. When we talk about child marriage rate, our rates are comparable to places like Afghanistan. We're not a Talibanized, war-torn country that we're treating our girls the same as what's happening in Afghanistan. So really, it's truly, truly critical to us as a society and us as an economic and with power to invest in girls.
Actually, just to take you back to what the government is doing, because there are individuals, and it's important over here for us to try and analyze and assess that how can we leverage on what is already happening. One of the things which I feel is where strategic philanthropy can have its cutting edge contribution is trying to plug in the loopholes which are there in the large government programs. If you look at the secondary, the adolescent girls level, the NSSO data, that's the data which we usually refer to and which is quite credible because it consolidates on various other data sources. The 64th round has come out with some very interesting facts on women and girls. And we had got a little study done by an organization called Nirantar, which works on girls' education. And what we found was that what's very important is the disaggregation of the entire girl issue. Because there may be girls, but what are the problems of the girls within this group? That is, what is the problem of the girls of the scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes, especially the minority segments? That is something which, rather than looking at the whole girl issue, if we disaggregate and make a commitment towards trying to solve the issues of one particular segment of disadvantages, that's something we can look at. Then there is this huge urban and rural divide.